Well, hello to everybody here. My name is Teresa Sanderson, and today we're talking about how do you succeed in hospice sales? So if you are a hospice nursing liaison or maybe a hospice case manager or even a hospice owner or CEO, and you're wondering, how can I improve the message that my marketing liaisons put out there and how many referrals we get, how we can market with more impact, this is for you. So first of all, I want to thank you for joining me. And I do want to ask you to go ahead and say hi. Let me know where you're watching from because I love to connect with all of you. And also, if you're catching me on the replay, comment #replay. So this is really important stuff. And I owned a hospice some time ago and grew that hospice to $3 million a year in annual revenue with a $6,000 investment. You heard that right. So my strategy for doing that, number one, I need to tell you, I had no full-time hospice liaisons. I had no hospice liaisons, okay? And I was in a very rural area with a population of 20 people per square mile. But our hospice grew and grew very quickly because I educated people about what we did that was different. Okay, so I want to expand on that just a little bit because we all know that when we're marketing any kind of Medicare service, we can't really say, everybody provides under the Medicare guidelines these same things. All right, so when you think about marketing the difference, all right, I want you to focus on that. What is different about our organization? Because when you can define the difference, that is going to be your niche area. And that is going to be the people who raise their hand and say, I need you. And they're going to ask their doctor for you by name. All right. So what is the difference? There were a few things that made our hospice different in the area. So, we were always prepared for admissions, right? Same day, if at all possible, unless that wasn't going to be good for the patient, then we would schedule it within business hours the following day. But typically, we wanted to admit with urgency. And so letting people know that, I think, is very, very important. What is your policy for weekends? What do you do here and there? And is there a certain flair to your admissions? I think, how quickly do all the other disciplines come in and evaluate your patient to make sure that all of the services are being provided quickly, or at least being offered quickly for the patient and family to be aware that they are there. Now, another thing that we did was continuous care at life's end. Sometimes we were paid for it, sometimes we were not. Okay. And so I don't want to just say that, hey, we billed that for every patient, because we did not. But our goal was to function in a way and provide services for our patients and families that would allow them to just be family members at life's end. So if I had a nurse there for 2 hours, during that time, that's just what happened. And the nurse was paid and we took care of our other patients around that. But our goal was to be that presence at the end of life for our patients and families. Again, those patients and families that wanted that, but more often than not, we did provide that. Okay. Other things that we did, we provided some things, and I grew to say, I will never say never as the owner of a hospice, because we did provide palliative radiation. I mean, if it was a true comfort-oriented measure, yes, we would do that. There were times when we paid for CT scans for patients who just needed to know, for their mental and emotional comfort, right? They needed to know their status, what is the tumor doing, that kind of thing. So many times we paid for things like that. I've done IV pain management, different kinds of things. And I think there was even, I want to say there was something for a renal patient that we did that, again, it was out of the norm, but in that situation, it made sense. So I think when you can say that we evaluate every patient on an individual basis to determine what is palliative, what is, comfort oriented, and what is aggressive or curative treatment, you begin to to be serving people and meeting them where they are. And that is very, very different than saying we have a rigid policy that says we always do this and we never do that. Do you see what I mean? When you can evaluate each person on an individual basis based on their physical and clinical needs, everything changes. And suddenly your patients and families feel really heard. And you know what? Your hospice team is going to thrive on that because they're really going to enjoy seeing that put into place. So I want you to think about that. What is it that you do different? Do you offer some services that maybe not everyone does? If you have a massage therapist, if you have a music therapist, if you do speech therapy for bedside swallow studies to be sure that patients are getting the right level of thickened liquids and things like that. I mean, those are things that definitely made us different and they made sense. I wanted my cancer patient to die of cancer. I didn't want them to expire from choking on something that was not the appropriate thickness for them. Do you see what I'm saying? So when we can evaluate patients in that way and let the community know this is what we do and that we never say no to certain things, we just evaluate first and then we will make a decision. We want to look at, if there is an outlying treatment, what is the goal of that? What is the goal of that? So define your difference. And I'd love to see some of the differences that you're thinking about as you're going through this, but let me know. List them in the comments. I would love to know what's different about your hospice and what are you doing to share that with the community so that they can know what's different about your hospice and know when to refer to you. That is the kind of marketing that's going to make a difference when you talk to hospital case managers. It's going to make a difference when you talk to your physicians. And your team needs to be fully aware, of what the difference is. So thank you for tuning in. If this is helpful for you, drop a comment below. I am going to be starting for the very first time my 5-day hospice marketing boot camp that's coming up here in a few weeks. So click the link below and you can get pre-registered for that. You and all your team can attend. It's totally free, but thank you for watching. I'll see you again soon. Bye.